Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. Everything's a mess. Ooh, you know what? We're just gonna put this back here and we're gonna rock with it. Yes, the fan is on ambient. Why do you have a sweatshirt on if you have the fan on? Mind your business. We are here to talk about a TBR to be read for May. Because somehow, in a few days, it's the month of May. Let's not talk about it, okay? And, Jessica, you're a mood reader. Yes, and? A bitch can dream. So we have some things on here. There are 3 books on here that will be redacted because they're for a special project. But I'm gonna talk about them anyway. Let me move them out of the way. And I'm gonna tell you about them in the most generalist terms. You may be able to guess what they are, but they're for a reading project. So I don't want to tell you what they are outright. Whew, that was a lot. What else is there? My Christmas market trip still has spots. It has 5 remaining. That information is down below. I have launched Thailand. It is confirmed. It is happening next February 26th, March 5th. May have the dates wrong, but that one is open, confirmed. There's 7 spots left. So excited. So that information is always linked below if you're interested in the trips that I'm hosting. Okay, so we're going to start with the books that I have physically. I have this one from the library, and it is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I read the other one, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I actually fucking love that book. And then I've been waiting for my hold from the library, then it came in. Anyway, that's not the point. I went to the library looking for another book, saw this one, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. I am so mad because I started this video, my battery had 3 bars, now it has 1. Anyway, so that The Very Secret Society of Magical Witches, to me, that is cozy fantasy. That is what I want in cozy fantasy. Other people may have a different opinion. I don't remember if Mara read that one, but I know that there are some like stakes in it that maybe some people don't consider cozy fantasy. Also, there is a romance plotline, and I don't remember if they did the do in the other book. They may have, but that is cozy to me. This is the type of cozy fantasy that I like. And so this one, I'm assuming there's going to be another romantic plot. But this is saying a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. And let's see, she used to be one of the most powerful witches in Britain, and then she resurrected her great aunt from the dead, lost her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her guild. Oh, okay. Oh, and then we have Enter Luke, a handsome and icy magical historian. So yes, there's definitely going to be romance in here. And so again, I love the first one. Oh, this is what, like 300? Oh, fuck yes. 320 or 332 pages. That's my kind of link. So I want to get to this one before it's due back. When is it due back? May 15th. Also, one that I definitely have already started, but I won't be finishing in May, and it is a cookbook. It is Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Nosrat. I've had this for a while. I know a lot of people, this comes highly lauded, but this is something I'm trying to slowly read, and I have not made great progress. Here we have my 20 euro as a bookmark, but it's not something, I don't think any cookbook really is when you just sit down and read cover to cover. Maybe there's one, you could tell me in the comments, but I've never fully read a cookbook. I usually just go and choose recipes, but this one is really trying to master the elements of good cooking, and I'm a good cook. My mom taught me to cook really young because she said that was the only way I was going to find a man. Okay. But I would like to be better, and like I know it from experience, but I would love to know like the science behind it so that when I'm freestyling meals, which is a lot of the time, I have a better knowledge base and can do more. So this is one that I'll be reading through slowly. It may take months to get through, but it'll definitely be something I'm reading in May. Okay, the 3 physical books I have in front of me that are redacted. One is it was indie published, dealing with sports. Maybe it's problematic. That's all I'm gonna say. The other one is a historical fiction, World War II, sad, water. The third one is young adult, sci-fi, artificial intelligence, mixed media. I might have given those away. I don't know. If you could guess what any of those are, feel free to leave it in the comments, but I will not confirm or deny any of your guesses because I don't want to give it away. Now, ebook. Currently reading The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is for our Patreon book club. We're right now doing quarterly, so this is our second pick of the year. I am like 17% into this. It's only, well, I say only, April about to end this week, child. It's April 28th. Yes, I'm 17% into this, so I don't know if I'm going to finish it before the end of April. We are having our discussion in May, but it's going to be like middle to end of May, so I have time. So I don't think this is one that I'm going to finish in the next 2 days. I'm enjoying it so far. I tried to listen to the audio maybe a year ago, and I don't know if I just wasn't able to pay attention or not in the mood for audiobooks, but I just felt confused. So starting the ebook, I've been able to follow along pretty well. And it's a summer camp in the 1970s, and like one of the owners of the camp, I think, their daughter goes missing. So again, I have gotten so far as she's gone missing, but it's like in what's happening. So that time it's like June 1970s, but then we're also going back to like 2 months before the disappearance happened. So I'm interested. There's some interesting characters, and we've only just really begun to touch some of the other troubling things that have happened. So interested to continue this one. Also, I have an E-ARC of a book by CJ Lead called Headlights. CJ Lead wrote Mayfly, which I read the first chapter of and was like, I don't think this is for me. But she also wrote American Rapture. Is that what it's called? I'll put it here. And I fucking loved that book. So I'm going to try this one, and then I'm like, do I give Mayfly another try? Mayhaps. But do I know what Headlights is about? No. Could I look it up? Sure. Hold on. Okay, this one says we got a special agent ready for a change. He's burnt out, defeated by the job. But before he can turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver with a chilling message. It's happening again. So people are waking up on the side of the highway with no memory of how they got there, wearing the skin of victims they've allegedly never met, and they each share one haunting detail. A strand of a stranger's hair is tied around their tongue. And here's the cover. That's all I need. That's all I need. I just remember something. So I will be reading that one. Now, audio, I just remembered because I see this on here. I had 3 Audible credits I need to use before it renews, which I need to redeem the last one today because it's going to renew tomorrow. I just remember that. But I tried Dungeon Crawler Carl reading the ebook, and at first I was vibing with it, then I was like, I don't know. The audio is amazing. I got the Audible credits for 99 cents, okay? So I got the audio because it is an Audible exclusive. So I'm going to give it a try. I also got the audio of that's not the point. The one I may listen to in May is Dungeon Crawler Carl, because I think I got the audio of like the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's not on my immediate TBR, but I need to get the third one, and too bad you can't leave me a recommendation because by the time you see this I will already have redeemed it. But Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is like a lit RPG that has been taking everyone's obsessed. Is it going to be, have the rights been purchased for an adaptation? I could be making that up. It's like the end of the world or something, and he's basically in a video game to like try to find the other survivors. That could be wrong. It's something like that. I'm gonna try the audio and maybe I will love that. But then unfortunately, if I do, I would have to continue getting them through Audible. So maybe I didn't think that through. Okay, anyway, let me go to the rest of my list. Didn't I text myself? I thought I texted myself the rest of my list. Well, let's look here. Okay. London Falling by Patrick Radden Keefe. Now, he wrote one of my favorite nonfiction books of all time, Empire of Pain. This one is about a story that I randomly heard about on TikTok, and I was like, wow, watched a couple minute TikTok about it. I was like, that's crazy. He wrote a book about it, so I'm like, oh, I gotta read it. It's called A Mysterious Death in a Gilded City and a Family's Search for Truth. So it's obviously it's a true story about the sudden death of a family's 19-year-old son, and they discover upon his death that he had created a secret life which drew him into a dangerous criminal underworld that lies beneath London's glittering surface. The audio just came in from my library, and I'm like, perfect, we'll be listening to that. I also will be rereading the Chronicles of Narnia. I got the audiobook from the library. Why? Because I'm going to be talking with my friend Alyssa about a meaningful book, and I said The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because that's one of my favorite books of all time. she was like, okay, well, I've never read them, so I'm gonna read them all. So now I'm like, damn, I have read them all, but I need to refresh myself. So I have the audio. I haven't started it yet. That's a project for May. And yeah, maybe my opinions will change towards the other one, but The Lion, the Witch, and Her Wardrobe remains an all-time favorite book. I love it so much. I even got a tattoo. Do I have a picture? If I do, I'll insert it here because I'm not about to lift my leg up. It's above my ankle. And then this is dependent on the library if it comes in. The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I've been on the wait list since the book came out. It's very long. It's her newest romance. It might be a second chance. Unsure. The last Abby Jimenez I did not love, but the 3 before that I freaking love. So I'm like, I'm going to give this one a chance, and hopefully it's back to the Abby Jimenez that I loved and not so much the Abby that was really on TikTok when she was writing the book Say You'll Remember Me. So mayhaps that may come in. Also, Birth of a Dynasty, which I don't know much about except Robin's like, you need to read it. It is a fantasy. Do I have more? No, I don't. So there's that. Also, with my group that's going to Iceland, we are reading a book called Moonstone, and it's Moonstone, the Boy Who Never Was. So it says that it is a story of a young man on the fringes of a society that itself, on the fringes of a society that is itself at the fringes of the world at what seems like history's most tumultuous, perhaps ultimate moment. It's set in Iceland, so reading a book by an Icelandic author set in Iceland. It's only 142 pages, so I guess technically a novella. And so I was very interested by the premise, and so hopefully that's a good one. But we were also talking about reading The Legacy, and that one is by Yrsa Sigurdardóttir. Forgive me for the pronunciation. A lot of books by Icelandic authors are crime fiction, Nordic noir, if you will. And so this one is that. And do I remember the premise? No, but I'm gonna pull it up. It says Children's House 1. So the only person who might have answers to a baffling murder case is the victim's 7-year-old daughter found hiding in the room where her mother died, and she's not talking. I didn't read much more than that. The audiobook is available at my library, so I'm going to try to also read that. Anything else on my list? I didn't text that to somebody, did I? I just realized I meant to text myself and I texted Bree. Okay, those are all the books. That is a lot, but in this day and age, Delulu is a Salulu, well, to an extent. So I'm really hopeful that I will get to the majority of these, having some on audio and then reading some physically or ebook. Hopefully that will help me get through them, because so far I've been averaging 5 or 6 books. Well, I think I'm on track to read 6 this month. Well, January I only read 1, then February 5, March 5. So the likelihood that I'll read all of these in May, well, who knows? The likelihood is not high, but it's possible. So if any of those books you have any thoughts on, you want to share below. You have any guesses on the books that I redacted, please let me know. But that is going to be all for me. Let me know what you're going to read in May. And that's it. Oh my God, we made it on this battery. I'm so excited. So stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreened. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, I had asked the other day about people and why, if they didn't wear sunscreen, why. A lot of the answers were because they couldn't find ones that didn't burn their eyes, or they couldn't find ones that didn't leave a white cast. And so I shared about one of my favorite ones, but also I was on Threads, saw somebody also post a similar thing, that they couldn't find a sunscreen in 2026 that didn't leave a white cast, and people were sharing examples. So I shared those on my stories, and they're in my highlights. That is not all of the sunscreens. Those are just some. A lot of Black women or women of color shared. And so here's my word of advice. Sunscreen is almost like makeup and just other general skincare, is that you may unfortunately have to do trial and error. Someone may look similar to you, look like they have the same skin tone, and then you may get a product and it doesn't, or it does leave a white cast, or maybe it leaves them a cast a little bit and they don't notice it because then maybe they put makeup over it. So you may have to try a few until you find the one that works for you. But the best sunscreen is one that you're going to put on every day, whether that's chemical or mineral. But the what do you call it, like lotion squeeze ones are the best. The sticks and sprays, it's just harder to always put on the right amount, and I know it's annoying. But especially if you have sensitive eyes, which I do, I find that Korean sunscreens do not irritate my eyes. Again, it's going to be a experience per every person, but I just wanted to share that here on my Instagram and how to highlight. None of this is, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I would love to be, but if you're buying Korean or Japanese sunscreens, I would recommend the websites Stylovana, Yes Style, or Olive Young to get them and not buy them on Amazon. However, I just did get an email from Olive Young saying they're switching, like if you're in the United States, to a United States warehouse. And I'm like, does that mean they're going to change? Because I know some of them, like Beauty of Joseon, has their sunscreen, but they have a US version that's different because the standards, the chemical filters that we have in the US are old and outdated, and so they don't approve the ones that Korea uses. So the formulas are different. So I'm like, does that mean they're changing all of them? I don't know. However, I just never recommend buying skincare on Amazon because they have a lot of fakes and things that are expired. And then I know some people love, there's like French sunscreens, some you can get in Mexico, Australia. There's just a lot of sunscreens that are better than the United States because our filters haven't been updated in so long. And so a lot of them do leave a white cast and or burn your eyes. But there are some that are pretty decent. Naturium makes some. I know Supergoop a lot of people like, but it's very expensive. I used to use Aveeno Protect and Hydrate. I didn't leave a white cast, but it did burn my eyes. Neutrogena Hydra Boost, another one, did not leave a white cast because it's gel based, but it did burn my eyes. So I just encourage you that if you feel like there is not a sunscreen for you, I promise there is. You just may have to try a few before you find the one. And again, the best sunscreen is the one you're gonna wear every day. Again, not sponsored or paid by anyone to say this. I just am very passionate about sunscreen, you know, and skincare in general. But what's the point in having a really good skincare routine, using actives, doing all these things if you're not using sunscreen? You're basically just throwing all your skincare out the window because of the sun damage. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, that was a long diatribe at the end. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, sunscreen. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.